Hi everybody, Melissa. Thanks so much for tuning into CloudMom.com. Answering a question today from a mom, Kamal Shaila. My baby will only eat from one breast, and then he's hungry an hour later. What can I do? Great question. This is something that, in my view, has to do with trying to make sure the baby is getting as full a feed as possible. Now, one advantage to the fact your baby's only eating from one breast is that your baby's actually, in all likelihood, getting through to the hind milk, which is the richer, more caloric, more satisfying milk that comes later on from the breast, and not the foremilk, which is the initial milk that your baby gets. If you pump, you can see this happening where the initial milk has watery, more greenish color, and the hind milk has a creamier, fuller, texture to it. So anyway, it's actually quite good if your baby is wanting to eat only 1 hour later, that he's taking all that milk from that one breast, because it means you're getting through the hind milk. But what can you do to try to get your baby to have a fuller feeding and to move him over to the other breast? Well, are you sure, I would ask, that he's completely burped? Maybe he's like a slow burper. Sometimes with my babies, they would just stop eating. They would be like, eating, and then all of a sudden, stop. And they would not take another drop, and I would find that they had a huge burp in them, or even 2 burps. And then they would start eating again. So I would try that. I would also try making sure he's fully alert and awake. You could try changing your baby's diaper. You could even take a 5 to 10 minute break. Make sure there are no more burps, and try feeding your baby again. The point is that your baby is awake, fully burped, and rejecting more milk. That is a full feeding. If all those things are happening and he still wants to eat in an hour, you might have a baby that wants to eat every hour, which I hope is not the case, because I think it's kind of tiring, but it might be the case. So anyway, try to make sure all those things are not happening. In terms of the breast situation, what I recommend doing, and this is a very personal thing, think about what works for you and check with your doctor, is to pump for about 5 minutes using a dual pump, so that you're pumping both breasts 5 to 10 minutes after feed. That way you'll be evening things out. And on the breast from which you have not fed, you will not go quite so long without doing a feeding. So that's one tip. You'll also be able to store up a little bit of milk that way, which might give you some flexibility down the line. And then make sure to keep track in this situation of from which breast you're feeding. So if you feed on the left side, then you can attach a little safety pin to your, this is my left, to your right side. And that way you'll know to start from that other breast the next time. Now, there are also apps where you can do this, or you can write it down. I tended to be a righty. I always favor my right side. I write on my right side. I carry my bag on my right side. And lo and behold, my right side produced a lot more milk with every baby. And I think it was because I always favored that right side. I always had a tendency to put the baby on the right side and start there. So it's really good to get in the habit of reminding yourself where the last feeding took place, so you can try to do this evenly. So anyway, I hope these little comments are helpful to you. Please write in. Let us know how it's going. Moms who have dealt with this, please weigh in. Love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching CloudMom.com.